I learned from Blair was, I was 15 years old when I first came here, and I had to grow up. I had to grow up real quickly. I had to do a lot of things on my own, and I think this was the best decision I ever made was to come to Blair because I think I matured. I learned a lot, being away from home, and it made me a better person and a better player as well. My favorite memory away from basketball, I think, just coming to Blair is something that I will never forget. Just my 3 years here, because I was so homesick. The coach talked about it earlier today. But I really didn't want to be here. Really didn't want to be here my first year because it was tough transition for me. It was a culture shock. But my mom always was on me. So, in order to get what you want, you have to make some sacrifices. This was a sacrifice I made, and it's helped me out tremendously, as a person and as a player. And I'm so grateful and thankful to come to play.
I think Coach Montagna is a very selfless person because he's not afraid to put himself out there when it comes to people. I met him when I was 16 years old. Actually, a few months before my father passed away. I was 15 actually. I met him a few months before my father passed away. And he drove down to Queens to watch us play basketball, Charlie and myself, with his wife. Mrs. Montagna was about to burst in their Subaru. They came to my house. Mrs. Montagna was talking Spanish to my mother, and we hung out all night. And it was almost like we had to kick them out because we knew they had to drive back to Blair. And then when my father passed away, I said, you know what, I want to change. I want to get a break. And I came to Blair, and I built a whole other family. And I think that's what a lot of the people that are here have either realized during the time here, or when they while they were away, was that Coach really cares about his players, and he's not afraid to say that he cares about you.
Blair has a lot to do with who I am today. It's just that time, that age period between 14 to 18, really, that I feel like when you become a man, you learn so much. And I just felt very lucky that I came to Blair. I was in an atmosphere where everybody loved me, got along with everybody. I woke up every morning. There was really nothing to worry about. I knew there's food. I knew I was going to learn. I knew I was going to be taught basketball. I knew I was going to hang out with friends. So in terms of becoming who I want to be, it really helped me just focus on my goal and what my goal is. I didn't have to deal with any outside, trouble and everything. And then speaking about how it shaped me as a person today, just having the teachers and the commitment and having a certain grade. It was just, you become very responsible, and I think it helps me today in a lot of things that I do in terms of my, charities, the stuff that I want to do, and all over the world, and just being a basketball player. It's a lot of responsibilities, and I kind of got that from an early age. And playing at Blair was just, like I said, it's just unbelievable. It's like playing at Duke, but just not as many people. Just a smaller community. It's just everybody followed the games when I was here. Some people traveled with us when we played away games. Everybody was talking about it the next morning, and this was high school basketball. And it just kept growing from my freshman year to my senior year. Every year was just bigger, and it was such a great feeling because it's not like I came to a school that already had a great basketball program. We kind of came in and we all grew together. And it's still going now. It's just unbelievable.
I think the leadership that I've learned here at Blair and playing basketball in general is it's helped me tremendously. Last year when I was going through job interviews for internships, there's always something to talk about when they ask for like a leadership situation. I think going to Blair in general, the school itself develops leadership way more than like my public high school I went to. Leadership actually means something not only with basketball but like outside of the athletic realm. But I mean, I just think being able to bring people together, knowing when to confront someone, when to encourage people, I think these are all lessons that I definitely learned here at Blair, and I know I can definitely carry it on into the workforce because from the interview process, from the internship, like leadership, it's a different way, but it definitely carries over to the workforce and doing stuff outside of athletics.
It's a long story. The reason why I came to Blair, I was 17, I was young, and I just got out of high school, and I was underdeveloped, and I had a couple of colleges recruiting me, and one of the colleges that were recruiting me, one of the assistants was good friends with Coach Montegna. So he said, I got a guy. You might want to take a look at him. He's looking at prep schools. He made the call. Montegna called me randomly and said, would you like to come up for an interview? And I was like, interview? He was like, yeah, interview. In the next couple of days, I was like, sure. So me and the family got in the car, came up there. I interviewed, and me and Montegna hit it off. And before you know it, I was coming to Blair. It was big. It was big for me. It was getting acclimated to living away from home and being without my family. But Blair accepted me for all my flaws, and that's why I'm so true to Blair. And coming in with Lual and Coach Montegna, we were all rookies to it. He didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know what to expect, and Lual was just a baby. So, it was just a great experience. Coming to being a pioneer of a program, and look at the program now, it's great.
Coach Montegna, he was a great family. Mitch Montegna, I was homesick. I was wanting to go home all the time. I can't explain what they did for me. A lot of the times when I was struggling, Coach would always call. I was always able to call Mitch Montegna and speak to her, and she would help me out a lot. And they were great, and it really helped my time here at Blair. When I came here for Blair, the basketball program was great. Coach Montegna always pushed us, and I think that's the thing that stood out the most. The transition from high school to college basketball was there. In the back of my mind, I knew what hard work was all about. Every day he came in, he just pushed us. He pushed us, even when your body was telling you, you're tired, you can't go no more. You found a way because he was always in your ear, just pushing you to go harder and harder and harder and always get the best out of you. So I think that really made the transition from high school to college basketball a lot easier for myself.
Well, I think they have to sacrifice a lot living away from home, the academic demands of the place, and then we raised the bar athletically too, and I think there's an honesty behind closed doors with us that is probably not there very much in the world right now. There's no false praise, and there's no smooching people's backsides, and it's just giving it to them real, and I think people progress in that type of situation, we're not kind of sugarcoating anything, and frankly, they don't sugarcoat with me either. It definitely comes back at me sometimes. So it's not a one-way street, but it's just not a world of false praise. We cut through all that. It's just a more efficient means of growing up and teaching and learning and maturing, and I think they come to understand what I think is important and what the school thinks is important, and then what they need to do to be a better athlete and hopefully a better human being, and it's just we try to filter all the other stuff out. I think the community feel of Blair, I think the fact that the administration really supports the basketball, I think that admissions supports some pretty unlikely guys and some pretty, I guess the catchphrase is non-traditional admits. The fact that they trust me to bring in human beings that on paper may not look like the exact guys that would always be brought into Blair, but somehow we sort of get it to work 9 times out of 10. And I think, it's not just me or the basketball program. The school's a pretty nurturing place for the most part, and so I think it's a community raising these kids. It's not just the basketball program.